Back Row Ministry, the World Premier, Mr. Martin coming at you live and direct. So I'm not going to do a breakdown of the um, school shooting in Texas as we've discussed before. We know how these stories can be broke down. It's easy to kind of see through the agenda. There was a lot in the Uvalde story that I kind of peeped, and I don't want to do a full breakdown. I mean, I get so tired of these stories that you know you see them over and over again. As we said, the Democrats don't have an agenda. They don't have a platform. They really don't have anything to work off of. So this becomes their platform pretty much. Anytime they're in office, we get mass shootings, and it's starting to be disgraceful, especially the way that this situation unfolded. So Uvalde, you see that it contains the number 38, 38, the number of death. If you put death in our calculator, remember death is 20 and 38. See, I got 20 and 38. See how Uvalde is 20. Uvalde is also 38. So that's why Uvalde was the city picked for this mass ritual. The school, Robb Elementary. Robb is 19, and I want you definitely to pay attention to that 19 because remember, we just had Ray Liotta die at 67 years old a couple of days after the Robb shooting. Let's pull that up. So Ray Liotta has an unexpected death at 67 years old in the Dominican Republic. 67, number 67 is the 19th prime. Only a couple of days after this shooting in Uvalde. So 67. 67 is the 19th prime number. See how 19 comes back into play. So might be entering this time of chaos. 71 to 20, 71 is the 20th prime number. You see that 71, Robb? See how Robb is 71 in reverse ordinal? 71 is the 20th prime number, and that takes us back to the number of death. That takes us back to Uvalde. That's how all that stuff syncs up. So if you go to our calendar again, our calculator, Robb is 20, Uvalde is 20, death is 20. And like I say, after you break these stories down, Robb is 71, which is the 20 in that. After you break it down, it's easy to see how the rituals unfold and why everything vibrated with each other for the ritual. Salvador, that's the young man who's the shooter. Salvador 38, death 38. Salvador 52. Salvador is 52. And that vibrates with Uvalde. See, Uvalde, let's go back to Uvalde. There's your 52. Salvador, the shooter, 52. Death is 52. So Salvador, there's Salvador at the top. Salvador 52. Get your 52 for death. Death is 38. Death is also 52. You see how everything vibrated together. It's a perfect vibration of numbers for the ritual. Date numerology. I think the shooting happened on the 24th. You seen the magazine, the paper cover, 524. 524 is significant because 5/24/22 is a date with 71 date numerology. 71 is the 20th prime. Also 17 date numerology. 17 is the kill code. So if we go to kill, kill is 26. You already seen the vibration with 26. Kill is 17. Take kill. You see how kill is 44, 17, kill is 26. Go down to our vibration of 26. There's 26. Come across. Rob, the school. There was a killing at Rob, which is 71 and 26. So those are your vibrations. Everything tied in perfectly with this this school event. The thing that I saw was the part that really tells you how evil the elite are is, the changing stories, Texas shooting, what Abbott DPS said over 3 different press conferences. And remember, they made the disclosure Friday that police in Texas stood by for more than 40 minutes while gunmen continued shooting in the Uvalde schoolroom. And the problem is this, this is Texas. The men in Texas are armed. It's kind of like if you live in Virginia, pretty much everybody got a gun. Open carry is the rule of the land in Texas. Those parents could have went in there and really resolved that issue. These ain't guys who don't know how to shoot. These guys have been shooting their entire life. They ain't gonna miss anything. Once they lock down on you and get you in the line of fire, you're gonna get taken out. And a lot of these guys are expert riflemen. So it would have been nothing for them to get into that school, to gather band up, got a lot of military out there. They could have took out this guy in no time. But the police let these parents just stand outside and did not go in while the massacre took place to tell me that they were a part of the massacre. This was a staged massacre of people. And if you think that the elite have not murdered people before, you're crazy. And you see the picture of Governor Abbott, and you see who's in back of him. See who's directly in back of Abbott. And we know his role in the presidential election, a lot of stuff. Could this be a positioning? And see how they have Abbott in the 2 pillars, and they're watching him, making sure that he says what they want him to say. So Texas is a part of this ritual. Big things are going to happen in Texas moving forward. Remember, there's been a lot of energy over the last couple of years with Texas and Florida. So big things are going to happen in Texas. But to get to those big things, you do have to have a sacrifice. And they were willing to sacrifice 19 people. Let's go back to the school shooting story. I'm gonna peep everybody how they did this. So and funny how they're saying on March 21st, they had a unified response for school shootings. On March 21st in Uvalde. And I'm trying to pull up the story itself. There you go. See my phone. May 24th, 2022, 18-year-old Salvador Ramos. See, we got another 18-year-old in the last mass shooting story at an 18-year-old, if you remember correctly. And they give you 18-year-old I always say take it how they give it to you, 18-year old. So 18-year-old. See how they give you 18-year-old? 18-year-old is 44. See how 18-year-old is 44? It's also 46, the number of sacrifice. We'll put that in, and also 64. But but see how it's 44? And of course, that takes us right back to what? The kill code. Kill is 44. See how kill is 44? 18-year-old is 44. See how those two things vibrate? That's why they put it in the story. It's a story about killing. So on May 24th, killer Salvador Ramos fatally shot 19 students and 2 teachers. So 19 and 2 is 21. We know 19 and 2 is 21. I didn't see a 21 in the story, but I'm going to try to break that down. We can say 19 and 2 is 21. We can say 19 and 2. Go to our calculator here. I'm sucky at math. 19 times 2 is 38, the number of death. 19 times 2 is 38, the number of death. So you see how they did it? They gave you 19 plus 2, 21. There's no 21 in our story. But there is 19 times 2, which is 38, the number of death. And remember, death is 38. So see how they did it. They don't just use one form of math, because sometimes they'll hide it in another form of math. So they hid it in multiplication, that 19 and 2. Just see 19 and 2. You can add it, you can multiply it, but just see 19 and 2. That's the numbers they gave you. So 19 and 2 teachers, 19 students, 2 teachers, and wounded 17 others. See how they went back to 17, the kill code, at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. So once you have it, you translate. So on May 24th, 2022, killer Salvador Ramos, he was chosen to be the killer, Salvador Ramos, who represented death, fatally shot 19 students and 2 teachers. Death came to 19 students and 2 teachers and almost killed 17 others. But the 17 came back. So you see how they did it. So they're saying after firing shots outside the school for approximately 5 minutes, he entered Robb Elementary School. So if he's firing shots outside the school for 5 minutes and there is security in the school, why nobody took this kid out? He had the AR-15. And remember, if you listen to Brother Yahi, he always talking about the AR-15 ritual. You're always going to see the AR-15. Anytime they had one of these PSYOPs, there's an AR-15 ritual. And back in the day, he would break that down real quick. Just look for the AR-15. Remember, A is 1. A is 1 in gematria. Did I lose all that stuff? I surely did. Apologize, my phone is crazy. But everybody saw the breakdown. But remember, in gematria, A is 1. AR is 19 and 17. That takes us back to the kill code. AR-15 is 27 and 21. See that? I took away my AR. Then went at 15. AR-15. So AR-15 is 16, 23, 41. AR by itself is 19, 20, 35, and 17. That's AR by itself. And 15 in gematria is just 6. AR-15. So, crazy stuff. And you can tag it in like this. You get to 16, 41, 23. And I lost all my other stuff. But kind of get a grip of what we're saying. You see how yeah, but he used to always look for the AR-15 ritual. I lost my stuff, but Salvador 2952, 29 to 10 prime. Yeah, this thing wiped out my damn thing. I don't know. I must have hit the X by mistake. All right, but we got the number, so we already seen the number, so we know I had all the numbers high. But that was an AR-15 piece that Brother Yahi used to do a lot. Um, so you got Children of Israel site. Definitely check out his piece on AR-15. He would always look for AR-15 ritual um, inside of any of these events. But just standing outside, not doing anything, not allowing the parents to come into the school, not allowing the parents to deal with the situation, is what took place. And remember, the story changed over three different times. The Masonic number 3. And just standing over Abbott. You see how they standing over him. And you can see in his face, he did not want to be a part of this ritual. You can see it in his face. He did not want to be a part of this, but he had no choice. He joined the elite a long time ago, and it is what it is. It is what it is. So, at the end of the day, this is our society. Children are murdered every day. They're not murdered by other children. They're murdered by the elite. The elite is behind a lot of this stuff. The elite controls the narrative of the world. How did you see the story of Soros? Let me see if I can pull up George Soros. So we got George Soros, the kingpin behind, the pandemic kingpin, the old demon himself. Billionaire financier and philanthropist demon George Soros has said that Russian President Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine has put civilization in danger. Soros 91, the 13th prime number, remember 91 is the 13th prime number, told his annual dinner at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Remember now, Switzerland just joined the United Nations. They just joined NATO. Remember Switzerland, the home of the bankers? Like what they're going to do, throw money at the enemy? On Tuesday, that the war had changed the world irrecoverably, and that even when the fighting stops, the situation would never revert to the status quo. So he says, indeed, the Russian invasion may turn out to be the beginning of World War III, and our civilization may not survive it. So they already know they're about to change the civilization. They've already said World War III was going to take place. And you remember Albert Pike, the general who I think they finally removed his statue, but I don't think they did, in D.C. Albert Pike had already predicted the elite's 3 world war. Who was Albert Pike? Albert Pike and 3 world wars. Albert Pike received a vision which he described in a letter that he wrote to Mazzini, dated August 15, 1871. The letter graphically outlined plans. The letter graphically outlined plans for 3 world wars that were seen as necessary to bring about the one world order. And we can marvel how accurately he has predicted events that have already taken place. And he wrote this letter to Mazzini. Mazzini was on display in the British Museum Library in London. So they said this letter was on display, but it wasn't. It wasn't. So Pike says the First World War must be brought about in order to permit the Illuminati to overthrow the power of the czars in Russia and of making that country a fortress, antithesis communism. That was the first one. The second one, World War, must be fomented by taking advantage of differences between the fascists and the political Zionists. This war must be brought about so that Nazism is destroyed and that the political Zionism be strong enough to institute a sovereign state of Israel and Palestine. The third World War must be formulated by taking advantage of differences caused by the Angutu of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam and political Zionists mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, would be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economic exhaustion. So this has been a plan that they've had for the longest. The elite have put this plan together. They